Hello, everybody. It is Thursday at noon, and I am delighted to join you from the balcony at First Presbyterian Church. I'm flying solo today. Our fantastic technical audio-visual person is away this week, so I'm just going to check in to make sure it's working correctly. Doesn't seem to be. It says it can't play the video. Just a second. So I'm looking for it, and I want to make sure that everybody can hear what's going on. So bear with me for just a moment while I check it out. Want to be sure that everybody can catch the live stream today. It should say that we are live. We are live. And let me just make sure that everybody else can. It does seem to be working. Great. So I should now put this away and welcome everybody officially. Yesterday, I went to St. Anthony Catholic Church across the way here on First Avenue in Evansville to record some music for an upcoming recital given by our local AGO chapter, which is going to be all put online coming up here in October. It was a wonderful time which I got to spend with a beautiful Schaefer instrument from the turn of the last century, which is on the historic organ register. And I played on there a piece by Vaughan Williams, his chorale prelude on the Welsh hymn tune Rosi Medra, which translates to the word lovely. Not many hymnals over here in the US contain this tune, but it is very, very beautiful, and I hope you enjoy it as I open today's concert. So again, Rosi Medra by Ralph Vaughan Williams. That music has a distinctive resonance for me as a chorister at Westminster Abbey. It seems to me that that piece was played as part of the prelude to just about every single major service, the special services, services marking VE Day, the 40th anniversary, for example, while I was there, and various other special services marking the visits of the judges and those sorts of days. Another very special composer for me from an early age is the music of Louis Vierne. I managed to completely skip his birthday last week, which was Thursday, I believe. Vierne, we are celebrating his 150th birthday this year in 2020. Vierne was blind from birth, but was clearly a massive talent. He began as Widor's assistant and was also Widor's student and played at Saint-Sulpice before, in 1900, being appointed to play the Grand Cavaillé organ at Notre Dame Cathedral in the heart of Paris. And he played there regularly as one of the primary musicians, playing and improvising weekly recitals until 1937, when he died in the middle of a concert that he was playing. He had just played the theme, and he drew some stops that he was going to use for his improvisation, and fell dead at the keys, and his foot landed on one of the low notes of the pedalboard. It must have been terribly dramatic. They've kept that exact console, is still in Notre Dame, and I believe survived the fire from last year as well. So the first piece by Vierne, which I'm going to play for you today, finds him in a very pensive mood. It's called Epitaph, and was written for following the death of a dear friend of his, called Alphonse Schmidt. Now, Alphonse was born in the Alsace, which is an area between France and Germany. It's now in, I want to say, France, but at that time it was in Germany in 1875. And Vierne and Alphonse Schmidt were about the same age, and Schmidt was also a student of Widor and was very active as a composer, and they were clearly quite close. So from the 24 pieces in free style, this is number 4, an epitaph for Alphonse Schmidt. And it focuses on the softer sounds of the instrument, and it's quite a dark piece. But you can definitely sense Vierne's harmonic palette, and also the profound sadness, I think, he felt at the passing of his dear friend. Written à la mémoire de mon ami Alphonse Schmidt. Certainly a piece of music with the weight of the world on its shoulders, written in memory of Viern's dear friend Alphonse Schmidt, who died in February 1912. In 1930, Vierne was approached by the Odeon recording company and was persuaded to record a series of 3 improvisations. There's a loud one, a soft one, and a loud one. And they were later written down by Viern's pupil, the organist Maurice Duruflé, who was a composer in his own right and who wrote some of the most beautiful modern French organ music from the mid-20th century. Now, the middle movement of this set of 3 improvisations that Vierne sat down at the console at Notre Dame, and this music came out of his head, to me is one of the most beautiful pieces ever not written. Well, it is now written, but just to emerge. And certainly a very different mood from the previous one. It's basically in the form of a very, very, very long melody that seemingly just goes on and on forever. And there are a number of moments of exquisite harmonic beauty where the colors just change from reds to greens to blues to mauves and everything in between. It uses the foundation stops of our instrument, which are very, very beautiful. The 8-foot principal here, the 8-foot harmonic flute, and the spire flute are all going along. Later on, at the end of the piece, the harmonic flute has a solo for the coda. And also moving along in the background are these stops in the swell, the stopped diapason here and the violin diapason here. So I hope you enjoy this and that it gives you comfort and solace following the previous piece and maybe helps brighten your day, which is actually here in the Tri-State today rather dingy and cloudy and rainy, and the weather folk tell us that it's going to get much colder here very soon. So here is the Méditation, the third of Viern's improvised 3 pieces, the middle one. a quick shout out to my friend Kirk Rich for introducing that piece of music to me a few years ago on this organ, and I was absolutely blown away. And of course, he played it absolutely beautifully. I just want to give a quick shout out to a number of names. There's a real core of you who have been watching these live streams for these many months, and I just want to thank you all by name, and apologies if I've left anybody out. Some of you watch this on YouTube a little bit later on when it's posted there. Some of you may be finding it right now on the church's website, but the vast majority are on Facebook and leave me nice comments like, oh, it's so nice to hear you play Bach, or it's great just to be able to see the inside of our church sanctuary when I am locked at home and can't get out because of the coronavirus. So my heart is with you all, and thank you very much to Kathy Siegert, Laurel Vaughan, Dan and Sue Korb, Elizabeth Becker, Jane Staton, Richard Vernier, Diane Shin, Niles Rosenquist, Helen Templeton, Terry Dunsterville. A special shout out to Dr. Stephen Cooksey in Leesburg, Virginia. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying today's program. And finally, to a gentleman who I've never met called John Speller, who has found these videos on YouTube and has enjoyed music on the little Giesecke organ. I don't know you, John, but thank you very much for your kind comments, and hope you continue to enjoy the music from here at First Presbyterian Church in Evansville. The final piece on today's program is the Prelude and Fugue in C major by Bach, BWV 545. The scholars amongst you may know that this is 545A or maybe just 545. There's a couple of different versions, but there's a prelude in C followed by a fugue in C, and I'm going to play them both for you now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will hopefully see you next week, and also join us for worship at 8:30 and 10:30, either in person or here virtually online. Thanks again for joining me. Time for Bach.